everybody, and welcome to May. Stella Boem here, ready to give you my reviews for my April books, as well as the books that I'm reading and the decks I will be using for May. But first and foremost, a few things that I just want to acknowledge and announce. First and foremost, I do apologize. My last video did not towards the last like third did not record over properly, so it's just me doing a remix glitching out, and I apologize for that. Apparently the audio was completely intact. It was just it was so funny because originally I was having problems with the audio and the video was fine, and then I had problems with the video and now the audio is fine. So I apologize. I thought I'd watched it all the way through and that it looked perfectly fine, but it obviously did not. So, um, at this stage in the game, April is done and gone. We're just gonna move on and move forward with life because that's really what we can do, right? Let's see what else. You may, if you follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, you have heard by now, I hope, that I am celebrating 15 years as a drag performer. So 15 years of doing this, which is remarkable. Honestly, it's the longest career I've ever had, and I had no idea I was going to graduate to be a 15-year-old drag queen, but here we are. And there's been so many moments that I think have been incredible, from raising money to amazing causes, traveling all around Ohio and parts of Chicago and Illinois to perform, as well as, of course, starting up the tarot reading drag queen business here in Florida. So, thank you so much for those of you who have been along the way with me, even if you've just been here for the last month or the last 15 years. And I have a very special gift for each of you, which I will tell you at the very end of this video. But yeah, that's the big thing that's happening right now in life. And as you can see, I'm not wearing any earrings. Today I just decided I'm just going to pare it back. Pare it back a little bit, go with a simpler shift, a simpler dress here, my one favorite necklace, and then, no earrings. We're just going to keep it nice and simple today. Let me think what else here is going on for this month that is exciting. My website has been updated yet again. I am going to be giving some blog posts over to some of my favorite resources. Some of the books that I like to read, some of the decks that I've really enjoyed using, some of the people that I thoroughly enjoy talking to. So the beautiful thing is that's going to evolve over time, I'm sure, because I love to write, I love to blog, I love the format of blogging. And I am very excited that the blog is going to take place the way it's going to take place. That's kind of really all I can do with it. Is it'll take shape the way it wants to take shape. Since I'm going to be using, since I've been using YouTube to give you my. Oh, I live on a very busy street, so I apologize for the really busy street noises happening on this cloudy Sunday here in Orlando. So I apologize if there's a lot of background noise, guys. But we'll continue moving forward. Let me think what else. There was one more thing that I completely forgot, and I'm gonna share with you in just a moment as soon as I remember what it is. I am competing again. So in the 15 years that I have been a drag queen, I have competed for only a handful of titles, many of them smaller local titles when I still lived in central Ohio. So I am competing again, and there's ways to support me because drag is expensive. Pageantry is also a very expensive exploit, I guess you could say. It's a very expensive path. But at the end of this month, on May 30th, I will be competing for the Miss Volusia Pride pageant system up in Volusia, up in DeLand. So if you are in the area, please come out and support at Shoestring Theater. If not, please follow my Instagram as I am doing a fundraiser right now. It is a pick a card fundraiser where you choose a level of support and I will pick a card for you and post it on my Instagram page. Yeah, it's exciting times. I've held exactly one title, and that was the Miss Columbus Gay Pride back in 2014. So almost 12 years, and I am competing again. So, I'm excited for it though. And please, if you wish to support me, please feel free to do so. Or book a reading with me, or purchase one of my courses. And I will be getting more courses out this summer. So after May's competition has wrapped up, hopefully with a shiny new hat that I can wear for you all, I will be focusing on creating some more courses for both my website as well as for World Divination. Uh, and opening up my books. I'm opening up my books on a month-to-month basis for readings because I am open to that again, and you do it with me via Zoom. So a lot of things are happening, a lot of things are going on, and if you would like to continue to support me, please buy my book, Read Like a Queen, Real Life Insights to Slay Your Tarot Practice, book a reading with me. This goes for just about anybody, I think, in the spiritual realm of things right now. So those are some of my big announcements. Thank you so much, friends. Let's talk about April and what I did with April. You may remember that I read Talisman and Tarot by Lytle, Man and His Symbols by Carl Jung, and then I used the Child Tarot and the Outdoors Oracle. Those were my decks that I chose to use for reading for the month. And I tried to go back and read listen to the cards that I pulled for the books, and honestly, it was glitching out so badly I couldn't watch it. So again, I apologize, friends, that I did not notice that that was happening. But let's move you guys out of the way here. We'll talk first about the books. So Talisman and Tarot, this to me I thought gave such a wonderfully unique look and a unique use for how to use tarot cards. I feel like Lori Lytle did such a great job. First off, exploring just the different meanings of the cards, as well as talking a little bit about what is a talisman. So she does very much combine the two that I think in such an effective way. And I feel like one of my favorite things is that she gives you a breakdown of what can you use the card for. So if you want to say, for example, I'm going to I open up to the death card. We're not going to shy away from death, but I open up to the death card here. You have a wonderful description of the death card, but then over here, talisman intention themes, you have transformation, rebirth, endings, healing, grief, affirmation, I use my time well, and as well as musings. So some journaling prompts. I think that is such a smart use of how to use the cards themselves. What I love too is that she doesn't just do it for the majors; she also does it for the minors. So, for example, I just opened up to the Nine of Pentacles here. It has been the card that honestly has been following me a lot lately. So learning to take that advice for myself. But um, again, same format, a little bit of the meaning of the cards, a little bit of description of the cards, and then excuse me. Oh, sorry, friends, got some powder up my nose. No, not that type of powder. Face powder. But then also talisman intention themes. So what I love about this is that it's not just about, and I'll open up to here too. It's not just about matching the talisman to the intention. I mean, really, I love that she says that just about anything can be a talisman, especially if it can be worn or if it can be carried in your pocket. Like, my necklace here, my beautiful Milky AB necklace here, while it is made and constructed of glass, it can still be a talisman that I can infuse. And I love that she makes that approach. It's such a fun approach, very hands-on, tactile approach, I think, to not only working magic, but using tarot in a magical sense. And I think that is such a smart, wise way to do it. And she has this incredible 11 card spread that I think is incredible. It says, spread to clarify your intention. Magical workings, turn writes it up so you can read it. Magical workings are so strong on intention, and she does such a great job of making sure that you have the tools you need to start with a solid intention, a strong intention, so that you have solid and strong results. And she doesn't treat this like the Ronco set it and forget it. How many of you remember set it and forget it from the 90s and early 2000s? Those dial in rotisserie things and all that. How do you remember that? Anyways, um, I like here that she also makes a point here too that you're doing this to help you focus your intention, but this is also not a cast it, leave it alone type of a deal. This is a you have to be an active participant, and that I think is something that often gets assumed. I think in many spiritual workings, whether it's magic or readings, where people say, well, you said this, or I cast a spell for this, but then that was as far as it went. I think I can equate this to pageant prep. There's a lot that goes into pageantry prep. There's a presentation that's normally themed. There's a gown that you have to model and model beautifully and well. There's also a talent portion. Many pageantry systems also have on-stage questions. So if you're nervous about speaking on stage and speaking on the fly, or there's many that also have an interview portion where you basically treat it like it's a job. You're being interviewed as though this is a job. It is a lot that goes behind the scenes, and what you see on many of the stages for the final night is such a tip of the iceberg. And it is very much the same with talismans, magical working, and tarot. And I think Lori does such a great job of highlighting that you're an active participant, not just in the creation of the talisman, but in its success and the success it brings you. So I highly recommend this for people who are interested in tarot and magic, who are wanting to find ways to not just read, but bring it alive. I'm all about bringing tarot alive in the real world, and so bringing tarot alive in a new way, in a new magical way, I think where this really does shine. So, but also it's a very good source if you just want to learn tarot. I think you can use it absolutely to learn tarot. However, I think for my people who want to blend magic and tarot together, for my people who want to create a much more interactive tarot experience in their practice, this is who I would definitely send this book to, and I would definitely send you this book or recommend this book. So to me, this is a 9 out of 10 book for everything that you learn from it. It's such a wonderful wisdom, and the beautiful thing is it's not a very big book. It's less than 250 pages. So very good book for tarot magical workers. Now, oh, I knew going into this, I gotta lean in for this, but I knew going into this, Carl Jung was gonna be heady, heady, heady stuff. And, unless you are studying his work as like a psychology student or as somebody who's just a big old nerd like me, this is a very heady book. And I knew that going into this. So I'm not going to say too much about it because I read this book because I wanted to I wanted to really deepen my own knowledge of Carl Jung and his theory around archetypes, which we use for many of us, we use archetypes in a sense of like the Empress, the archetypes of the major arcana. So if you are a psychology and legacy psychology, history of psychology nerd, this is a good book for you. What I also think too is that it doesn't just have only Carl Jung talking about the unconscious and the symbols that we, as a culture, as a human culture, have created, but there's also writings in here by other people, so like Joseph Henderson, Ancient Myths and Modern Man. um let's see here, The Process of Individuation by ML von Franz. This is really a good basis, I think, if you have the desire to learn about archetypes, Jungian archetypes, and how they connect to the symbols of the major arcana. Is it required reading? I don't think so, because really the archetypes are so universally told through story, through myth, and that I don't think this is absolutely necessary to read unless you are like 100% into this or you're a psychology student that you just happen to have this on your reading list. So, um, what it did allow me to appreciate, though, is that there are many forefathers of psychology who have given us a lot to think about, especially as we work further and further with human human psychology, coaching, especially if many of you are tarot coaches and your tarot readings tend to go into the coaching realm. His work I definitely appreciate because it can be daunting to read, and it can be he formed a lot of baseline stuff that we use today. So, however, I will say, unless you are 100% a like committed to this reading, this is a sit down, heady, dedicate time to reading. It's not just something you kind of read in passing because it's very, it's very, it's very cerebral stuff. So, um, this I would recommend for, the psychology scholar, the psychology student, the person who wishes to understand archetypes and how myth have formed our psyche, as the human race. If you want to understand, if you're a mythology person like I am, which is how I got started into a lot of stuff, is I love mythology. I love the pantheon of the gods and the goddesses. I love learning world mythology. This is a good place, I think, to learn about like those baseline archetypes. Otherwise, and the other thing too is because this has been in the consciousness for so long, you can actually find this pretty easily a lot of places. But unless that is you, I don't recommend reading it because it's not going to be something you just pick up and read on a whim. It's heavy stuff. Now, on to the cards I used this month, the Flower Child and the Outdoor Oracles. I'm going to start with the Flower Child Tarot. This is here, okay, focus on me. There we go. Flower Child Tarot is I think the easiest way I can describe it is it's got this fun sense of whimsy to it. It is a very whimsical deck. And I know you didn't, well, I don't think you did get to see it last time because that's when I started glitching out doing this, when I was glitching out last time. But the cards themselves, they are a 2D style, but they're in that very modern 60s, that 60s mod style. Um, and I definitely appreciate that. It does follow the traditional. Uh, the creator of this loves frogs. I'm seeing, and I adore that there are so many frogs in this deck. Okay, devil. It's so cute. It has a whimsy to it that I think is a very fun, adds a very fun lightheartedness to the tarot. It is Rider-Waite-Smith still symbology. Put you guys away here. So for anybody who's learning the tarot, especially with the RWS style print, this doesn't take a lot of liberties, I don't think. And I think you can still get the symbol, still get the symbolism. And especially if you like frogs, if you like fairies, if you like just that 60s mod style of art, I think this is a great deck for you. So, I do highly recommend this. This is probably one of the decks that I purchased on not on a whim, but I'd seen it and I gave it a risk, and I don't think I was not disappointed with it. I really wasn't. So fun deck, great deck. If you like if you like the art style of it all, then I think you are in for a treat with this deck. Now, outdoor oracles. The outdoor oracle is completely different than what I have ever seen. First and foremost, there is this fun map that comes with it, and it's a good size map. I'm not gonna open it all out because it's a very large map, but it is a beautiful map of a. It's mythical. It's a mythical place on the west coast because it does have the Pacific Ocean. Although it was funny because there is a someplace in here where it talks about Garibaldi, which I happen to know there is a Garibaldi on the Oregon coast. So I kept looking on the Oregon coast trying to figure out where this was, and I'm like, oh wait, you know what? It's none of these other places that I have any sort of knowledge of. So that I think it's a fictional rendering of it, but it's a beautifully done map. You do have this nice thick field notebook. But the thing is the notebook doesn't really have meanings of the card as much as it would be just like this is somebody's musings, this is somebody's literal journal from hiking around. Let me just pick one for you here. Fishing cabin, which is one of the cards. Treasuring a homestead's tranquility. Most people don't even own a home, no land, nothing. They get shoved into those new high rent sardine cans across town in exchange for cannery wages. If I was one of the lucky ones, I got a business, even broke as it was. It came with an old fishing cabin upriver, which I managed to fix up pretty slick. When I was young, I liked to go there to sit and think. Got me out of the shop, away from my bickering parents, a retreat, sort of. These days, it's my home. All I need really a lot of the time. I don't even fish when I'm out there. It's still just a place to sit and watch the water roll away. No distractions, perfect escape from the sprawl. Davy Crawford. And then it just has like this scrapbook feel to it where they don't really give you a meaning to the card, but they do give you like a story to help invoke, I think, a little bit of that. So if I were to pull, say, that card, I could be like, okay, respite, get away from it all. Very Eight of Cups energy, or, very Six of Swords energy. Let me step away. The cards themselves are quite beautiful. I can honestly say that this is not a deck I would buy for myself. This was actually a gift from my good friend Eddie from Wildly Tarot Podcast. Thank you so much, Eddie. But this is a very interesting deck. What I like though is it's a nice matte, but it's a nice slippery matte. It's that matte that has kind of like that texture to it, that gritty texture to it, not gritty, but grid like texture to it. It's very easy to shuffle, and it has a nice slip to it, so it doesn't get super sticky, which sometimes mats can get a little hard to use. So I was pleasantly surprised, just to allow myself to pull a few cards and just kind of let my intuition take over. Like I read people when I read, tell people, trust intuition, trust what you see, trust what's in front of you. And the Outdoors Oracle allowed me to do just that, where there wasn't even a option to look up for keywords or anything like that. So this did very much allowed me to open up intuition and just say, okay, what in nature is speaking to me? So if you are a nature lover, if you are an outdoors person, this is, I think, the a good deck for you. Uh, it is, again, I don't know the cost of it all because it was a gift to me, but it is definitely unique. There are 84 cards in the deck itself, which comes also with field notebook, the map, and then two dice because there are also categories of cards, which I've just completely forgotten off the top of my head, but there are categories as well. So, um, it's a very unique, very interesting Oracle deck. And I think if you're an outdoor buff, outdoor lover, you love to go hiking, scavenging, nature, anything like that, it is going to be a very good one for you to pick up. So, put those to the side here. Those were the books and the decks that I used for April. So, I'm going to put another book here because, well, as many of as you may or may not know, there is a theme. I like to do themes. I've always loved theming. I don't know. Something about my brain just loves a good thematic anything, which is why I love to produce shows and drag shows because they're it's fun to create that theme. So, um, one of the celebrations for the month of May is Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Now, what a lot of people may not know about me, at least not to look at me, is I am actually a quarter Japanese. So my mom is half, and born and raised here. So I very much find myself a part of the Asian American, Native American, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. It is a culture that I grew up with, and not knowing I grew up with it. So I love Japanese culture. I love everything about it, especially because it is such a part of my upbringing and such a part of my who I am. So to celebrate that, we're going to start with the book here. You'll notice I only have one book this time, and I'm going to show you why in just a second. But Benebell Wen, if you're not familiar with Benebell Wen, her website has so many incredible resources, many of them free, some of them paid. She is an incredible person who writes about tarot, writes about I Ching, the coin divination system. I believe she also has some stuff about reading tea leaves, but she has a lot of practical forms and things that you can get for free from her website. So like things like business forms, like contracts, trackers for your clientele, um, other business forms that I can't think of off the top of my head. And she just gives it away for free. Like, she is truly, truly an incredible person. I have purchased a couple of her courses as well. So, things like how to create your own Oracle deck, how to market, all of that. She has a great one that I was reading over not too long ago on how I made $50,000 a year just doing tarot readings. And she just chronicles what do you need to do to make that happen. So, she is a prolific writer, has written many, many books, including Holistic Tarot. Now, I am going to fully acknowledge I will probably not read this in 1 month, and here's why. Do you see how thick this book is? This book, I mean, granted there are a lot of, there's a lot of appendices in this, but this is just shy of 900 pages. So, there is a lot in here. This is a very thick tome of knowledge. So I am dedicating I'm dedicating just to that one book. I am reading another book. Sorry, I am reading another book here that I received from Teresa Reed. Thank you so much, Teresa. Called New Moon by Design, or Life Design by New Moon. New Moon. I'll grab the book and let you know in just a second. I've completely forgotten the name of it. Apparently, I'm not good with names anymore. Uh, but um, this is going to take the bulk of my time because it is a thick tome, but I am actually very excited for it because this is gonna be. I mean, she goes very in depth. So I'm in an Empress era right now, so I'm gonna open this up to just the Empress right here. She got the planet, you got some of the key words, you got some of her you got, of course, her classic depiction, and then the reversal of it all. You got the element she's connected to, and this is just a walk down how we got it here. She goes, ooh, she's got some of the bagua here, which I think is super cool. Um, this is gonna be truly a great undertaking. So that I'm excited about. In fact, I'm gonna set you off to the side real quick here. Move you right over here. To continue along too with celebrating Asian American creators and Asian American themed decks, I'm going to be using the Yōkai Tarot. If you're not familiar, this is from Lo Scarabeo. Yokai are spirits in Japan. So many of the spirits that you might be familiar with, like the kitsune fox, the fox woman, the kappa, which looks like a frog, has a flat head with magical water on the top of his head, those are considered yokai. They're spirits. So this is not so much about the mythology of the mythology of the 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 pantheon of gods, but more the spirits, be they mischievous or not. Japan has a slew of mischievous spirits, um, but they do have we do have the cards. I'm just showing you some of the cards that we got here. It is a beautifully artful deck, but it looks like a water ferret or some sort of ferret with swords, but these are spirits that might find stories about. So I'm excited about this. I got it not too long ago, but I didn't really work with it, knowing I was gonna probably pull this out during. I got to show you this because finally one that I know. But this is the Tengu, Page of Swords Tengu, which legend says that if you can steal his nose, you will get. I've heard different things. Tengu, if you steal his nose, he will grant you a wish. Also, the nose of the Tengu can heal any ailment. I've heard many, many. I've heard a couple of different versions of it. But but yeah. So, and of course, you also have some ones that are a little more frightening. Whoops, the Two of Swords there. Ooh. Um, but it does have that. One thing I like about the box too is, I don't carry the boxes around. I have my little sleeves, but the box is not a tuck box. It's actually one of these guys, and it does have the nice Yokai Tarot here. So it is a Scarabeo deck. So that means you're gonna get this in about 14 different languages. You're going to get four different languages in here. This one does have, yep, so this one does have, uh, excuse me, this one does have Italian in it, I think. So it does have Italian, it has Spanish. Sometimes they also have other ones. So Portuguese, it looks like in this one. I've seen them with German, French, all of that as well, too. So the only downside I think to that is that the descriptions are rather short. So, but they do make sure that they do dedicate a little bit of space here for the actual yokai that is in the deck itself. So I appreciate that there has been mythology research on it. So, Yokai Tarot. The other is by Vicki Iskandar. I've had this deck for a couple of years now. This was a present from my loving husband. It is a Hay House deck, the Chinese Five Element Oracle. Chinese Five Element Oracle is based around the Chinese zodiac. So you have the 12 signs of the Chinese zodiac, the 12 animals, but they're also paired up with their Eastern elements. So, in the West we have water, air, earth, and fire. In the East, there are water, fire, iron, wood, and earth. And as a result, you have a 60 card deck with each combination there. So you may have seen me use this when I do my Wheel of the Year predictions because unlike astrology in the West, which goes by the moon, this goes by the year. So you are born under a specific animal, and then you're born under a specific element for that animal as well, which adds nuance to it. So, for example, I was born in a year of the rooster. Roosters are known to be cocky, they're known to be strutty, they're known to be pretty proud and preen themselves, they're known to be a little bit of a show off, but they're also known to be naturally charismatic. Now, I was born not just in the year of the rooster, but I was born in the year of the fire rooster. So, fire adds that nuance element into it, which I think is kind of a fun way to use the deck here. And I've been using this for my Wheel of the Year prediction, not only doing the numerology of the year, but also doing the year that we're in. A lot of this being that this is about balance. So you're going to have those years that are opposite of you if you're looking at the 12 grid. If you the one that is opposite you, so the animal that's opposite you, if you're in that year, it might not be as a strong year for you, but that's to keep everything in balance so that everything has a check and a balance to it. Anyways, went down the rabbit hole there, so I apologize, friends. But this is beautifully written. It is what I will say. It is a very large deck of cards, so it's not as easy to shuffle. As many of the Hay House tend to be very large. I think that's my one complaint with this. But we have like the Fire Dog here, which says redefine your boundaries. Let's show you the Fire Dog up here. So, though that is exactly, I'm pulling a lot of fire signs. I just pulled the Fire Pig, Earth Rat. So, yeah, it is beautifully done. I've used it a couple of times before, but I'm gonna really dedicate a lot of diving into it for this one because this is a beautiful deck, and I'm excited to work with it even more. And especially because Vicki Iskandar has like gotten some incredible artwork in this deck. It's absolutely gorgeous. So those are the decks that I am using. That is the book I'm reading in true to form fashion. Here, let's do this. Why don't we pull? I wanna pull a couple of cards for the book just to see what can I expect with the book here. What can I expect? And then I'm gonna pull an oracle card and then a tarot card for the month, and that gives us a little bit of what we can expect for the month. So first and foremost, what can I expect with Holistic Tarot by Benebell Wen? Ooh, Seven of Cups. I feel like what that's going to tell me here is the Seven of Cups is going to give me a lot to work with. It's going to give me a way to fully expand even further, especially emotionally, my understanding of tarot. So, that's exciting. I'm super excited about that. Now, shall we pull a couple of cards for the month? Let's see what the collective can expect for the month. Also, too, friends, please make sure that you give this a like and a subscribe, as I know I will also be doing a pick a card later on this month. That is evergreen, so it is timeless. It will find you when it needs to find you, or you can find it when you need some answers. But these will be, we're gonna just let's just pull a card, one each, I think, one a piece here. So King of Cups in the Yōkai Tarot. Make sure I shuffle it so I don't pull the same card. Ah, and then Wood Monkey. Ooh, okay. King of Cups and Wood Monkey. This is an interesting combination here. As you can see, the King of Cups is about maturity, emotional maturity. I feel like this is a good time for us to go into it with emotional maturity, into the month with emotional maturity, especially because with Wood Monkey, the Wood Monkey message is choose your battles. This is going to be a time of discernment, especially because we just had the full moon in Scorpio, so let go of the stuff that just doesn't feel good, doesn't work any longer. Full moon on May Day as well as on Beltane, so the fire festival. There's a lot of fiery energy going around, but that doesn't mean that we have to burn all the bridges. That just means that we can burn the chaff, and that's going to take us and our emotional wisdom to discern. So, I hope that message finds you well, friends. This is going to be getting out sooner rather than later. Again, I do apologize, my darlings, for the. Let me put you back on my face here. I do apologize again, my dears, for the glitch in my last video. I will make sure I watch the whole thing this time. If you would like to book a reading with me, please use the link that is in the description. Remember that for the month of May, this is my exciting announcement. My month of May, I'm going to be offering 15% off my one-on-one readings. So all you need to do is use the code Stella Turns 15, all one word. I will put that in the notes down here as well. Book a reading with me at my website, www.queenofglamtarot.com. While you're there, check out my vlogs, check out the courses that I'm running. There will be more coming this summer as I do a lot more creative content because I just got the start of things. Now I'm really getting into it. If you also wish to support me on my road to Volusia Pride and competing for that beautiful crown, check out my Instagram on ways to do that. You can follow me at queenofglamtarot.com. But in the meantime, my darlings, thank you so much for visiting with me. I hope to get this out to you soon. I hope this finds you well and enjoy all that May has to offer. Bye now, friends.